Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of the Blacklist, Season 8, Episode 19. Balthazar Bino Baker is here, and we are talking all about this dude. You know, my guy, Balthazar. Okay, I don't know if he's my guy, but,
they're all your guys. If you've been watching all our Blacklist the past few, every Blacklister with a super weird name, that's my guy.
I need to associate myself with better people in terms of these criminal masterminds, clearly. Listen, he's just got a weird name that appeals to me.
We love the weird name, guys.
I don't know what these people are thinking when they name them that. That's just my thought. But okay, we got a lot to talk about with this episode, but we also have something else we want to talk about here because the Blacklist, we are getting near the end of that season, and I know you guys are going to be craving something else to watch.
Yeah, so we want to thank the sponsor of our video, which is Sundance Now. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. We're really excited to be partnering with them because they have a show called The Bureau that is so good. It is a French spy thriller. If you're looking for something after Blacklist, because Blacklist, like you said, is coming to an end, unfortunately, for the summer, this show is 5 seasons in. It is so good.
It's got a lot of elements that are really similar to the Blacklist in a way, because you're talking about spies, you're talking about deep cover individuals, you're talking about sort of how they handle their life after they come back from these deep cover missions, which can get pretty hairy and tricky.
Yeah, which I think is what sets the Bureau apart from a lot of other shows that are about agencies or FBI or cop shows or anything like that. We don't really get to see shows like this where they focus more on the deep cover agents and what it's like for them when they come back from, a mission that they've been on for 6 years, 9 years. Like, how does that work?
It's intense and twisty and interesting, and Sundance Now, they've got a lot of really interesting shows. If you love Discovery of Witches, that's over there. There's a show called The Nest that I also really, really like.
What is also really cool about The Bureau is that this is based on accounts from former spies.
Yeah, it is. Who doesn't want to know that? It's an authentic, interesting spy thriller. If you're interested in checking out Sundance Now, we've got a link for you in the description. We highly suggest you go and take a look at that. Let's start off with this Bino, because here's the thing. He's ranked like over 100 or something on the Blacklist. He's not meant to be that high ranking. This guy should be like number 400. Like, this guy is a coward. He
is a complete coward. He's a Townsend sycophant. I don't like him at all. He is useless.
You are not my friend. You are no one's friend, Bino. Your nickname is not cool. There's nothing cool about. Okay, he
was a terrible Blacklister.
I still enjoyed him more than I did Nicholas Obenreider, but you know what? This guy, the moment that he said, I'm not as worried about Reddington as I am about Townsend.
Yeah, do you not know Reddington? Like, come on. I know that Reddington is a guy who will take situations with context. But come on, he's obviously not going to in this context.
Yeah, I was just like, that dude gonna die at the end of this.
For sure. I don't feel bad about it. Bye, Bino.
Yeah, with Bino, we will not miss you.
I will say, though, that the idea of sort of this transportation system that he had, going through the tunnels, going into the coach, all of that stuff at the funeral home, like, all of that was really neat. I will say that. I like that idea of sort of this underground, handing the torch to the next person, that was cool.
Yeah, I actually did kind of like Bino. Like, the whole idea behind what Bino was doing was pretty interesting. I think the problem here is that Bino, you don't have the right to halfway through your transport mission here, when you're already a criminal, be like, whoa, wait a second. That ain't it, Chief. You gotta find a way to just deal with whatever you've signed up for.
Yeah, I get that you're afraid of Townsend. Everyone's afraid of Townsend. But Reddington also has a reputation for being terrifying, and you've already agreed to do at least what he is saying. So why not just finish it out? You know that Reddington is not going to let you live.
Here's the thing that's so interesting about this episode is that, first of all, Liz spends 0 time behind bars whatsoever. It feels like we pick up like immediately after what just happened.
Yeah.
Like, did this almost felt like an episode of 24, where it's just like everything felt almost in real time.
Yeah, like, let's first off talk about the conversation that she had with Ressler in the back of the truck, which I am already aware is going to be a controversial talk with the fandom, because there's part of the fandom that feels like Reddington has done everything for Liz and she should be more thankful for what is going on. Then there's the other side that feels like Liz deserves answers and that she is in the right. This conversation felt like it was, I hate playing the fence, but it's kind of a little bit in column A and a little bit in column B. So she's talking to Ressler about everything that's going on, that Reddington can do whatever he wants, that there is a double standard, that he can kill everybody and nothing happens to him and the task force looks the other way. That is true. That has happened a lot. And that she then goes to sort of take control of that and she's in cuffs. All right. The thing that I don't agree with is her saying, you know, listing off all the people that Reddington is responsible for killing. You need to take some responsibility for some of those deaths, Liz. Like, yeah, he shot the Katarina that we know on the show. Yeah, he did that. Okay, but he is not responsible for all of these deaths. Some of these are on you. Yeah. Skip, Jax, Essie, those were not Reddington's fault. And that's why at the end when he calls her out on it, it's kind of like, my dude, I told you not to do this. This is where you were going to end up with all these bodies dead. Yeah. Liz.
I agree with Red there, and I think there's some elements of context that I think Liz is not picking up here in some of her arguments. Like, she's right that Reddington can do whatever he wants and there aren't many consequences for it. I think the difference is it's not like Cooper is off somewhere with, like, pom-poms being like, go Reddington, kill that guy, it's that Reddington has value to the task force in the form of information.
He does, but I do understand her idea of where she's kind of like, my mom is dead, my husband's dead, my sister's dead, and I keep bringing it to the task force and they keep doing nothing about it.
I think it all comes back to, like, I understand fully why Liz is frustrated. Does she frustrate me at times? 1,000,000%, because it doesn't feel like she ever has a consistent point of view, but she is someone who is just, like, adrift. Nobody tells her anything. She's just expected to figure it out for herself. The people that she supposedly trusts don't want to help her, and at times it's because she does things that make them not want to trust her.
No, but at the same time, when she's telling Ressler, okay, Reddington wants to keep his secrets, no problem. He can keep whatever secrets he wants. Except for the ones that put my life in danger, put my kid's life in danger. Those secrets he doesn't have the right to keep anymore. And again, we don't know the context. We don't know why Reddington is keeping these secrets. Is it because, he just wants to protect Liz? Yeah, she probably has a right to know that stuff. Is it bigger picture where it's like whole country can kind of go down? I don't know, right? Like, it really depends on the why.
And I think the why is something I would love to find out this season. I don't know how hopeful I am with only 3 episodes to go. But I do think that Reddington, he has a reason for why he's doing this with Liz. Like, I don't think that he is just, like, jerking her around and having fun at her expense or anything like that. But I think Reddington, he's also been just a little bit naive here and sort of thinking that I can just sort of spoon feed, like, bits and pieces of ambiguity to Liz and she's just gonna be like, okay, dude, it's been like 8 years. Like, eventually people are gonna get impatient.
For sure. And now she's got Townsend after her, and we know that Townsend will not stop. So her life is just completely in shambles until Townsend has been caught. She's gonna have to do the same thing as her mom and go into hiding and all this other stuff. Now, the one thing that I'm surprised that Liz isn't, I don't know, dipping her toe into. She knows that obviously Townsend is crazy, he's insane, he'll do anything, whatever. She also knows that he is the one person that now also knows the truth about everything that is going on. I am very surprised that she isn't taking some sort of an angle. I know her team is dead, but maybe taking another angle to meet up with him and find out what it is, even if she ends up having to die for it.
Yeah.
Or having maybe the team come in with her, finding other people that might be able to protect her when he pulls her in. Or even her, I mean, she's kind of feeling herself. Just that angle of like, I've been able to get Townsend to work with me before. I may be able to get him to trust me again and tell me what it is, so maybe we can figure it out. This is the one person that now knows.
I wish there was a button I could press that's like the good point button, because this is a very good point button press here, because here's the thing, you pat yourself on the back for it, because Townsend is crazy. Townsend is also the sort of person where I think if Liz found a way to go to him, maybe she had, some other contact, I'm sure she's got a phone number or something at this point, and was like, tell me some of this stuff. I think Townsend for sure, because this man loves the sound of his own voice, he would be like, yes, Liz, I'm going to tell you. I don't know why I sound like Jimmy Stewart now, but I'm going to tell you some of the answers here, and I'll kill you afterwards. But listen. Now I'm just doing full Jimmy Stewart, but
No, but it's true. He does love the sound of his own voice, and he absolutely would just tell her and then find a way to kill her, sort of thing.
Yeah, he would. I think he would totally give her something, because what does he care? He doesn't care about a secret.
I mean, she could even go to him and say, listen, the person you really want is Reddington. You want to kill me in front of Reddington. Okay, cool. I will trade you. Give me the information of what it is that you want to kill me for, what it is, and I will be your bait, and I will help you get him out. And then hope that Reddington can come out and save the situation. There's another angle here, and I'm just not sure why she's running from that answer. She's run right into the fire with everything else.
You know what this is? It is a gambit, and guess what, Bino? This is a better gambit than the stupid one you had.
Oh, we gotta not even talk about Bino anymore. He's the worst.
Bino is like the worst chess player known to mankind, and I also love Reddington leaning straight up into the, I know the checkmate line is obvious, but checkmate, and now I'm gonna kill you.
Okay, we gotta talk about that other line. They're coming in the front and the back, and that can't be good.
Reddington, listen. This is a family show, right? Okay, I don't know if it's a family show.
It is not a family show. There is too much stew maker, not for the family.
Okay.
This joke, only for adults.
Yes. This is I don't know how NBC let him get past with that. I was like,
oh, it's so funny.
All right, Reddington, you get down with your lewd self. It's all good. It's all there was a lot of funny stuff at the end of this episode. And this really just was such a weird one in particular, because it's also there's no real resolution to anything. The episode just kind of just randomly ends, and then that's it.
Yeah, it just sort of ended where they're trapped in this place now. Townsend is in the front and the back, getting ready to come in there. So that's kind of where we are with the stakes.
Here's the good news. Liz kind of has to work with Reddington now, and she sort of even realizes that after he does his whole, a lot of this is kind of your fault too, and he gives her the lecture. She puts down the gun.
I was also really glad that, and I know this will be controversial to say as well, that she called it out that just because he saved her, it doesn't mean anything has changed, because it's true. You don't all of a sudden, after all this time in 8 years and keeping the secrets, if that's a thing you need, then it doesn't really matter when you have that much sort of anger or passion behind what you need. It doesn't matter what the other person does at that point. If they're not giving the answers, it don't matter.
I think Liz ultimately was just sort of rational enough to realize, you know what, I still want these secrets, but you know what, I also want to not die, so hey, maybe I'll work with Reddington for a while. We'll sort of see where things go. We kind of sort of need each other here, so we just don't get killed off in the next 5 minutes.
Okay, so we also need to talk about Ressler.
Yes.
And I by no means necessarily here, I'm not trying to say I want Ressler off the show or anything like that. I think that he does add to the show. I know not everyone loves Ressler, but I think that he adds to the show, and I think he adds sort of this. He is this guy who's kind of in the middle between the task force and Liz.
Yeah.
He's kind of on this island, and his story is becoming more interesting because of that. That being said, I I think that they should have taken the swing and killed Ressler in this episode. He is the last person that Liz was saying, you know, you're the only person who's being honest with me this entire time.
Yeah.
I know where you stand. You don't hold back from me. You're the one sort of tentpole I have in my life. She has listed all the people that she has lost, and a lot of them have lied to her or have not been completely forthcoming with information.
Yes.
If they had killed Ressler in this episode after all of this, I think that this would have kicked Liz into this next stage of grief, anger, rage, just this sort of like also lost, doesn't really know where she is. Like, it would have just changed that character in a really significant way that I think would have made the story even more interesting going forward.
I do think that Ressler, his story has been in a place for a while where it just feels like anytime Liz says something, he just forgets everything else that he's doing and just like runs over to Liz. And that's been frustrating as a viewer, as someone who I really liked Ressler, like in the early going of this show. Like, I even loved the Ressler episode last season.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was great to have some backstory on him. And like, if this does somehow propel Ressler in a more interesting direction where we actually get to see some more complexity for him, because like you said, it kind of has been building towards that, I'm all right with him living, but I do think, like you said, there would have been value in killing him here. I think it would have been a significant twist. I kind of thought there was a good chance it was going to happen because people don't get love in this story, and I'll even go so far as to admit the moment that there was something kind of sort of resembling an I love you, I was just like, all right, Ressler's going to die in this episode now.
Yeah, and that's probably because we've watched too much NCIS, where every single time someone kisses someone, the female lead just leaves.
Yes.
So there cannot be happiness. But no, we do have to talk about that too. So there was conversation, sort of this little joking back and forth as he was dying in the back of a coach.
Yeah.
That, you know, that there's love there.
Yeah.
And then she later does tell him when he's on the table, not necessarily, I'm in love with you, but definitely I love you. There, I said it. You're important to me. You're someone that I have love for. And I buy that more than like I'm deeply in love with you. I think that still can build over time. It just doesn't feel like it's right there yet. And maybe that's because it's sort of like in a quagmire of like darkness with Liz right now.
I totally bought everything Liz was saying in that scene. And, you know, because the Blacklist, it's not really a romance by trade. I mean, we get like the Anne story, and we had Liz and Tom earlier in the run and all that. But, you know, the way that she talked to Ressler made perfect sense, because it was sort of I do care about you, and I think Liz probably just wonders, you know, am I ever actually going to be able to have like a loving, real romantic relationship anymore? I've got so much just darkness, like you said, on my head. I'm constantly on the run. I don't know if that's something that's even in the cards for me, but this is what I can offer to you. This is what I can express to you. And I don't know if Ressler's really thinking about just like, you know, a peaceful stroll in the flowers with Liz at this point either.
No, but his sort of last act before he was, you know, on the table at this kitchen getting operated on was, she was saying, call an ambulance, I don't care if I get arrested, and he called Reddington, which of course is a very calculated move where it's like, okay, Reddington can help me and Liz will not get arrested, so I can still get help, but I'm still helping her.
Yeah, and based on, you know, what we saw with the task force sort of showing up, I think Ressler's gonna be all right. If Ressler,
he's talking, I think he's gonna be all right.
If he's like walking and running around next episode, given that it seems like it's just gonna pick up immediately, I ain't gonna be happy.
No, if this is like season 2 of True Detective, where that guy got shot like point blank right in the chest with a shotgun, then the next is like running down the street.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Spoilers for people who haven't seen that. Sorry about that. We're 16 minutes in.
You know, if you haven't seen True Detective, you're not missing much. So anyway, that's just sort of where we leave off in this episode. I think it is, there's two things that bummed me out about it. I did enjoy a lot of it, but number one, Liz mentions that Jennifer's dead to Reddington. Reddington just does not care whatsoever. Like,
no, he doesn't.
I know this is sort of his behavior pattern. Maybe it's because whoever Red isn't really Jennifer's father or whatever else that's been speculated out there. But it's like in between him not really having... He had more of a reaction with Anne, and that makes sense because he did love Anne. But,
okay, but if this is his daughter, there should
Yeah.
be some kind of reaction, any real reaction to that.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe he was told off screen or something and he had a moment, but it certainly was not mapped out that way. Like, if it was a big moment, we should have probably seen something about it.
Yeah.
The other thing is, how much did we actually really learn in this episode about anything? 0! We went on a 42-minute ride where at the end of it, Reddington was like, guess what, Liz? There are many secrets that I have that you cannot know because they will put you in danger.
Yeah, which is really, really frustrating for a lot of us as viewers. Like, I still feel that they can at least bring out the secret of what is the relationship between Reddington and Liz that can open up a way bigger story and mystery going into many more seasons.
Come on, guys. Come on. That's all I gotta say at this point. Just drop a little, just give us a little appetizer,
No, drop it all.
Okay.
It's enough. I feel like that secret can open up many more secrets. And we'll all be along for the ride. Nobody's gonna leave if we find out what the connection is. Even if it's her father. No one is gonna bail out on this show 8 seasons in and be like, oh, I don't like that twist, so I'm out. No, we'll all still tune in whether we like it or not.
Yeah, I just have some bravery, guys. Don't be like Dino. Don't be like Bino. See, this is how much I care about you, Bino. I already forgot your name. Okay, well, anyway, let's discuss what did you guys think about the Blacklist Season 8, Episode 19. Thumbs up or thumbs down on Bino. I'm pretty sure it's all thumbs down.
We're calling him Dino now.
Yeah, Dino, you don't
19 minutes in.
You don't even deserve the name you gave yourself. All right, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and support us by checking those links to the store, our Patreon. Thanks again to Sundance Now, and we will see you guys here next time.